Hello everybody, it is HoveringBanana back with another Rocket League video, and today we've got one on the brand new Rocket Pass 3. Thanks to the wonderful Backies mod, we are able to take a sneak peek at some of the best items, as well as their painted versions. Now to kick things off, unfortunately we can't take a look at the Guardian car. Backies mod doesn't allow you to change the car, so we're going to have to start things off at tier 13 with the Tungsten Wheels. These are fairly decent, nothing game changing about them, and I think we have seen elements of the tungsten in different wheels, but I do think these are normal characteristics for items in the low tiers of a Rocket Pass. The tungsten also does come painted, and I'll show you a few of the colors here, and these painted versions are unlocked after you hit tier 70. At tier 20, we have the new metalwork wheels. These I think are reminiscent of grip strides because you've got the very solid black contrasted with a nice rich color. However, for some reason the in-game item seems to differ from that listed on the Rocket Pass website. Don't know if they decided to change the design or perhaps this is a bug, but I do think it looks very nice in game. When you take a look at the painted versions, they're equally as good, so I'm definitely a big fan of these. At tier 34, we've got the new Galvins. These are reminding me of the Finny wheels that we saw a few patches ago. With the Galvins, you've got a mix of a half solid wheel combined with half translucent or half ethereal. And while I'm not really a huge fan of these, I can definitely admit that it is an interesting combo. At tier 35, we've got our first universal decal, and that one's called 3-Play. Seems to be some sort of animation of triangles or arrowheads. Not a big fan of this design. I do think it is a bit weak compared to other universals or black market decals, but this is the first universal decal amongst many in Rocket Pass 3. One final thing is that this universal decal cannot come painted. We move on to tier 39 and we have Ulterior. These are a pair of wheels that I don't think many people are going to like. Quite a strange boxy design to them, and the painted versions also show very little color. Usually wheels like that aren't too successful, but you guys can let me know in the comments if you are fans of these. At tier 44 we've got Generator 2. I think they've got a decent centerpiece, but what I love about these wheels is the treads. I think Psyonix is doing a great job at being creative with their treads, so I would say that's the main attraction for these wheels. And let's just take a look at a few of the painted versions. At tier 46 we've got another universal decal, and this one is named Shield Glitch. The design seems to remind me of a hexed or a hextide, however with the shapes changed to squares. It's definitely got an eye-catching animation to it, and I'm curious what kind of designs people are going to come out with this. And let's take a look at painted versions, which affect some of the colors of the squares. At tier 51 we have the Visionary wheels. Don't think you're going to see too many fans of these, but I do quite like them. Similar with the Generator wheels, the centerpiece is decent, but what really drives it home is that tread, and it pulses very nicely around the wheel. At tier 52 we've got our second universal decal, and that one is named Percussion. And it fits the name. You've got several circles hitting a surface representing sound waves. It's quite a flashy or loud decal, but I think it could pair very nicely if you match up the colors, and it might help to tone down the decal just a little bit. This decal can also come painted, and it affects the color of some of the circles. At tier 54 we've got another universal decal, and this one is named Plosion. This one is however not animated, so I don't think you're going to see people going crazy for this. However, I think it's a very nice clean design, and I think you can make some great looking cars using it. And finally, it is a decal that unfortunately cannot come painted. At tier 55 we have a bit of a silly item. If you've had a bad day, feeling a little toxic, well, now's the perfect time to whip out your salty topper. Tier 58 sees us getting another universal decal. This one is called the Mainliner, and you guys can probably agree that this looks like Spectre version 2. And I'm a fan of this one. Always loved the Spectre decal. Felt it was very clean, but sadly it was underhyped. But now you might see more fans of this flashier design. And finally, let's take a look at some of the painted versions. At tier 59 we have the Celestial wheels. It's got that obvious astronomy theme to it. However, there's no animation on the treads or in the centerpiece. Now I must say I actually think I prefer version 1 over version 2. Version 1 has a very unique design, but then when you get to version 2 it's kind of covered by like a star system. However, with that said, the black version of the Celestial 2 is definitely a big win from me. At tier 61 we have the final version of our upgraded boost called the Slash Beam 3. I really love this design. I think the blacks work really well with the colors. It's also got a nice sound to it, and it's not overbearing like some boosts in Rocket League. and it also pairs very nicely with the gold explosion that we're going to be taking a look at shortly. Moving on to tier 65, we've got the Polaris wheels, and these are very unique. You might be looking at them and thinking they're looking very plain, but the reason I call them unique is because when you get to painted versions, it's actually changing the design of the wheel. Taking a look at the black version, it seems to add more metal to the centerpiece, whereas it's reduced with other colors such as crimson. So while I don't love the design of the wheels themselves, I really love the creative direction Sonex went with. At tier 68, we have Force Razor 2. That is our fully upgraded gold explosion. I think it looks very solid, and like I said previously, it pairs very nicely with our boost. I do think it looks similar to the Singularity gold explosion, but there is enough of a difference. And finally, at tier 69, we've got the Vio Ava 2s. The design seems to remind me of the demon discs that we saw at Halloween because of that similar face centerpiece. However, these have an aquatic theme to them. With the treads, you've got that water circling around it, and the centerpiece seems to be some sort of siren. However, once again, I think I do prefer version 1. You remove that centerpiece and I think you have a better looking wheel. However, what is nice here is that the version 1s do come painted. So if you're someone like me and you prefer version 1, that's a nice addition to have. And that's going to wrap up our look at the main attractions of the Rocket Pass 3. I felt a bit disappointed with the universal decals. In the comments you guys can let me know if you agree with this, and also what some of your favorite items are. Also don't forget to subscribe if you guys are enjoying this kind of content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.